Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Lockdown Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in Perth and, of course, speak to the Curtin Uni Wesley women's football team. Of course, only 3-4 weeks ago, of course, they just won the Perth Football League Women's Grand Final. And, of course, we've got three very special guests joining us right now to tell us all about it. Thanks, all three, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I'll get each of you to introduce yourselves and what position all you played on Grand Final day.
All right, well, I'll start. I'm Jasmine, and I played on the wing on the Grand Final.
I'm Madeline, and I played in the centre position.
And I'm Jen, and I played in the ruck.
Now, I know it's been almost a month since the Premiership, but tell us, how was it, I guess, on Grand Final day?
I can say it was obviously really nerve-wracking because we played in the Grand Final the year before, so we all kind of knew what like the pressure was and what it was going to be like, I suppose, and then but it was still, I don't think, any less nerve-wracking, even though we knew what to expect and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, I think we were all really excited though. Like, there was a lot of nerves, but at the same time I think everyone was just really, really excited. But I don't know what you girls think. I thought that was kind of the vibe on the day, but.
Yeah, definitely. So we had a really good season, like a dominant season. We went undefeated throughout the season. So I think the pressure was on to back it up and not lose the grand final. But also it meant that we were all really excited. And I think Maddie actually said that it was like one more job to do. And that's really what it felt like. We were all so focused on getting that job done and getting the medal.
Yeah, I think I felt a little bit nervous going into it after hearing an interview during the week with the opposition coach, but getting there on the day and leading up to it that week at training, there was a really calm belief in the team that we could do it, and we'd worked really hard all year and still had a lot of fun and grown a lot. But yeah, it was still, as Jazz said, still really nerve-wracking. But once that first sort of contest went up, it was just on.
Now, Maddie, you mentioned just before about, obviously you heard over the local radio about the grand final. Was that motivation for you to spur your teammates on grand final day?
Yeah, there was a particular comment about their gut running as something for us to overcome, but I think for us, I thought that was our strength all year, was our fitness across our whole team. So it was less about what they wanted to do or what they thought they could do, and more about focusing on what we knew we could do, and we just focused on that.
Now, out of the 6 women's grand final that happened on the day, across 2 different venues. Now, I think you were pretty much the only team or one of 2 teams that went through the season undefeated without falling in the grand final, losing the grand final. But I think 3 of those teams that went into the grand final undefeated all lost, except for yourselves and another team. I guess, how good was it to finally, was it a sense of relief when you had the final siren and you were up?
Definitely. I was exhausted by the 4th quarter and the scores were quite tight. So when that siren went, I think I was like, oh, thank you. Like, more so then it took me a moment to be like, oh, we won. It was more just like a relief of like, oh my gosh, it's over and they didn't come back. Okay, good.
Yeah. The 3rd quarter, they kicked 2 or 3 quick goals in a row. And then in that last quarter, we had the wind. And I was exhausted. I felt my calves starting to go, and I had some trouble with them this year. So I was like, hold on.
Yeah, it was just, I think it was a lot of like pressure because the team we versed in the year before, they'd kind of gone through their season undefeated and then fallen down, in the grand final. And then so for us, it was sort of like making sure, like Jen said earlier, making sure that we could back up what we'd done all season and not choke in the final. Because I feel like so often, like you said, 3 of the other teams or whatever, 6 of the other teams or whatever it was, did that. So it was always like, I guess, in the back of our minds. So I guess we're all really happy when that siren went at the end. Like, thank God.
Now, by the sounds of it, you used to have a bit of a rivalry with your opponents in the grand final, especially, I guess, the last two, including this one. I guess what's with both your teams playing in grand finals, and is there a sense of that rivalry?
I think so. The team we versed in the grand final had come up from B grade, and they only lost one game during the season, which was to us in round one. Round one, I guess, is always, you never really know whether that's a telltale sign of how the season will go. So I think, there was definitely, it could have gone either way on the day, and they had a strong belief in their team and what they were there to do. And it was certainly physical. I think Jazz and Jen, and even in our semi-final, it was a really hard physical game. So I think even though their first year in A grade, they obviously did amazingly, and certainly I think that rivalry will go on to next year.
Now, I believe this is back-to-back Premiership this year. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Now, the question I'm going to ask is, which of the Premierships, either this year or last year, was better or more special?
I think it was a weird season this year, obviously, with COVID and everything. It was I think ours was a 7-game season or something. So you only verse every team once, and it was still amazing to win this year. But I think, I don't know, every year's good, but last year it was a really good vibe at the club as well, because we had quite a few other teams win as well around the same time, whereas this year everything was a bit more spread out because of COVID and how finals had played out because of the way the seasons worked and stuff. But I know it was still really, really good. I don't think it was any less exciting winning this year than it was last year, but that's my opinion. I don't know what the other girls think, but yeah, it was still really, really good.
I'd say that this year was better because I didn't play last year.
I think last year we were the underdogs, and and it was my first year at the club, and it was the club's first premiership, wasn't it, Jazz? Or the women's first premiership?
Because the year before that we'd got knocked out in the finals, so it was a first time for us last year.
So that was really special. I think this year, and maybe down the track, we'll realize it even though it was a short season, I think going back to back is actually really difficult. So maybe down the track we'll look back and realize how special this year was. But I sort of tried to reflect on how the second one was pretty special, just in that 2 years of being dominant, but both were great.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a bit about your back-to-back Premiership team, and tell us a couple of players that had an awesome year, and you cannot include yourselves.
Definitely Rach, Satch, I guess we call her. She had an amazing season. I think she's just a player that, is so good off the field. She's just such a lovely person, and that translates on the field. She's always there to support everyone. But aside from that, she's a really good player as well. So, she was a real standout, I think, this year. And then obviously Luce, who won. She got best on ground for our grand final, and then also won the best and fairest for the whole A grade league, which is massive. So, she was obviously outstanding as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I definitely think Luce she just really showed her physical prowess, I think, and how much above everyone else she is in just her fitness and can dominate on the field. Yeah, definitely. But I would say that everyone around us was it was a whole team effort. We've said a few times we had no passengers, so it was really everyone supporting everyone. And I think that my job was easy because of everyone around me, and I'm sure that some of the other girls feel the same.
Yeah, I would say as a midfielder, my job was easy because of Jen. But our full forward had a fantastic year as well. She had a baby last year and played the end of the season, but this year came back and won the leading goal kicker for the league for the Oh, maybe she didn't win. She won this year anyway.
She won it in 2018 as well, so she's done it twice. So,
yeah. And she was just such a great target for us this year, and came leaps and bounds in her fitness from January to September. So Claire Edwards, our full forward, I'd say had a great year as well.
And even our backline, not even our backline girls, but our backline girls had a massive season as well, because there was a few games they didn't even let the other team score and stuff. So as a group, our backline was sensational this year, I thought too. Yeah.
Now, tell us a bit about your Premiership coach.
What do you want us to say?
Tell us,
he has had a tough job, I think. He's had 3 seasons coaching the girls, and every year you get an influx of new recruits, which is fantastic. And this year we had 2 women's teams. He coached our A grade side, but the discrepancy between the skill set is so different. So you don't get to swan in January and do your pre-season of fitness and then talk about tactics. You sort of sometimes educating people on what the fat side means, or what a spoil is, or a shepherd. So Marto's super dedicated, and I think he's had, he does very well and has done really well to be a back-to-back Premiership coach, whilst teaching some girls literally some skills and then educating those of us that might get that into gameplay. So it's challenging, I think.
Yeah, and I think adding on from that, he puts in so much for our club and us as well. He trains twice a week and we train the other 2 nights a week. So it's literally 4 nights a week he's training, and then, he plays on Saturdays as well as coaching us. So, as a coach, what more could you want really than having someone that is so dedicated to the team and the club and everything like that as well?
Definitely. I think that transpires into all of us as well. We see how dedicated he is, so we want to play for him and match that for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I have to ask, of course, at the end of the game, once, the presentations were done. Now, I know for a fact this, and I don't want to mess this up because I've messed this up with a couple of other Premiership teams I've had on the show from your competition. Now, I believe there's no cup involved, but there is a pennant or banner. Am I correct?
Yeah, there's a flag, yeah.
A flag. Now, tell us, who was the first one to get that?
I think it would have been Ruby, maybe, our captain for the game, or Marto, our coach.
Yeah.
Now, did either you, get a chance to have a photo with the flag/banner?
Yeah, I think on
it was
Saturday
handed
night,
around.
Everyone got a chance to hold it and take a photo with it and all that other stuff with it as well.
And then I think for the whole night it was in Satchel's back pocket. So
it ended up being scrunched like this.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I can see you're wearing your medals, I think, around your necks there, I think. Yep.
Forgot mine.
All good. Now, I have to ask, when you got your Premiership medals, how long did you wear your medals for, and did either of you sleep with it?
Definitely slept with it. I think that's a tradition.
Yeah, I didn't take it off till Monday.
Yeah, I didn't take it off for a few days. Had to celebrate.
I'm pretty sure that Maddie slept in her jersey.
I did on Saturday night. I did. Yeah. Very clear.
Now, how was the celebrations afterwards?
Yeah, it was really good. I think it was a bit of it was a bit I guess bittersweet for some, because our fives team had their grand final on the same day, and in that team is our assistant coach Hobbsy, and we were really excited for him, but unfortunately I think they were undefeated the whole season and then fell short in the grand final. So it was a little bit bittersweet because we were obviously a bit sad for him, but they all kind of rallied around us, and I think were excited for us and kind of celebrated our win with us, I think, and just pretended it was theirs. So yeah, it was really fun. And then we had our silly Sunday kind of where we all dressed up on the Sunday, and yeah, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, our girls that were playing in the C3 team, so that, you know, there was close to probably 60 girls plus the guys at our club on the Saturday night. So it was good. There was, I think, a lot of appreciation for how hard we'd worked from January, and yeah, everyone enjoyed it, it was nice to be able to share that even with those who couldn't play on the day, because it wasn't just a sort of 23-person effort. It was definitely a women's team and a club effort. It was good.
Now, great segue that Jazz just mentioned, which I'm going to ask this question. Now, you mentioned about Silly Sunday or Mad Monday that you've had, and the mention I just got was costumes. Now, the question I need to ask is, did either of you dress up in costumes, and what did you dress up as?
I went with a friend, and she went as Homer Simpson, and I went as Marge Simpson. So we had to get up nice and early on Sunday, not feeling the best, and paint ourselves yellow. So in hindsight, probably wasn't the smartest idea we've had, but yeah, it was quite fun.
I went as Joe Exotica from Tiger King because we are the Tigers, so I thought it better be Tiger King.
And I went as Daria from the cartoon back in the 90s.
Now, Jazz, I need to ask you this question. Now, you just mentioned you came as Marge Simpson in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Now, considering her hair is normally up, how did you try and do that?
Oh, I've got the wig if you want me to show you it. I think
It's good. It's worth waiting for.
So I had to stack 2 wigs together, but this is what it was like eventually. So if anyone needs a Marge Simpson wig, I've got you covered.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Now, who dressed up the best out of the whole team?
Kel Fraser was pretty good. She went as the Colonel, like the KFC Colonel, you know, with the white wig and everything. That was quite funny.
I'd say you two and Hoy as Homer would have been up there as like, a lot of effort, and like you, Jen, as well. Like, yeah, I reckon you're probably sitting with two of the best dressed, actually.
Huh?
It was quite I think it was a good spread of costumes this year. So I think everyone kind of went all out this year, which was good.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a bit about all three of your football journeys. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
I played footy as a teenager for 1 year growing up in Victoria, but then had to stop when girls weren't allowed to play over the age of 14. And then when I went to uni in Melbourne, I wandered down to a football club sort of out of chance, and then stayed for 5 years. And then so that was for La Trobe Uni. And then when I moved to Perth in 2015, I had a bit of a break from football and finally got back to it last year, and then realised that I'm so much better at football than I am at netball. So overall I think I'm getting close to 100 games maybe over the last 10 or so years, but that's basically, it was a bit restricted when women's football didn't really have the pathways, but it's awesome to see that they exist now.
This is my first year playing footy, actually. I have previously played volleyball for a long time, and with having COVID and everything, couldn't really travel with that, which I did a lot before. So decided I'd try something totally different, give it a go. This is my first year playing footy, never played before. Had many sessions at the park with my partner, who was all about, no, this is not how you get, don't do it like that, which just ended in arguments, but we got there.
I'm from down south from Perth, and then we had country week when we were in high school, so you got to go up to Perth to play a sport. So I played football because it was like the only sport you could play that you didn't really need much kind of skill to do. So I did that, and then moved up to Perth for uni, and then kind of wanted to make friends, wanted to join a club, so then decided to join footy and didn't really realise it was an actual season kind of starting, and met Mardo and kind of got roped into playing our first kind of carnival game, and then still here a few years later.
Now, Jen, I want to ask you this question because you mentioned that you come from volleyball. I guess, do you see any similarities between the two sports?
So I played in the ruck, which thankfully kind of translates to volleyball, and I think some of the girls would probably say that I just ended up hitting the ball most of the time, like I would in volleyball. Probably not technically correct, but it worked. So that's kind of where, but yeah.
Jen's, like, the transition of skill, Jen, was amazing in the ruck this year. Her finesse was ridiculous.
Maddie, you mentioned you come across from Melbourne, footy mecca of AFL. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, number one, do you miss Melbourne? And number two, do you keep track of any of your former teammates from over here in Melbourne?
I don't miss Melbourne this year, which is a bit insensitive. Poor things. So my teammates at La Trobe, I'm still friends with a few of them. So there's a few still kicking footy around when they can. I had some teammates when I was playing uni games that have gone on to do great things in the AFLW. So it's been really nice seeing them, trailblaze basically.
Now, of course, all three mentioned what position you all play on the field in the intro. If you had a preferred position where you'd like to convince your team, would like to convince your coaches to put you, where would that be?
I'm pretty happy where I am on the wing, but Marty has said to me that he would like to try and teach me how to play something else so that he can switch me out every now and then. He kind of wants me to go play on ball like what Mads does, but I don't think I'm that keen to do that. So I'm very happy to sit out on the wing, I think.
So I played in the ruck, and I think thankfully for me, coming from volleyball, the ruck kind of helped me because it meant I could sort of just play some volleyball. But I don't know. I think I'd probably want to play like a half forward or something and try and kick some goals, get a bit of glory.
I'd like to potentially play less of an inside mid role. I sometimes feel like I've been in a medium impact car accident on Sunday. So rolling through the forward line would be nice to probably get a bit of glory, like Jen said, or play a bit more of an outside role. But I think the reality is I'm pretty one-dimensional. So Mardo probably has the same problem with me. He doesn't know what else to do with me.
Now, I've got to ask this question. What does the sport of footy mean to all three of you, and especially being there down at Tigerland?
I'll go. I think team sports in general, and it's just such a good community, and it's such a great way to make friends and give back to a community, I guess, if you can. And I've certainly found coming down to Curtin Wesley that, it's just been so welcoming from the get-go, and it's just been really nice to see our women's team grow so much and grow together. And like, I've only been there 2 years, but I've formed some really solid friends whilst also being able to challenge myself physically and mentally, I guess, on the ground.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Maddie more. Definitely a very welcoming place to come down to, and really it's been so nice. You just emerged in this group of like 60 girls that all have a like similar drive, similar goals, that kind of thing. It's really, really nice to be a part of, and definitely this year I think it has had a big impact on like just being able to have that involvement during COVID. Even we managed to do it while we weren't actually able to be together, so that really helped.
Yeah, like literally like what the girls said, it's, having a group of people where, you see them at least 3 times a week. So it's like you're kind of catching up with your friends a few times a week. And then I think a lot of the other club members have been very supportive of having the women's team down there. We've got 2 women's teams now, like we've said. So I don't know if every club would be as supportive of having, such a I don't know, large group of girls come down all the time. But yeah, it's a really good place to be, and you know, everyone's really friendly, welcoming, and yeah, it's a really nice environment.
Now, I have to ask all three this question. Now, Jazz, obviously you've been in the grand final all three times that you've started, including two premierships. Now, Maddie's been in 2 premierships, and obviously Jen with 1 in all your starts over there in WA. Do you just think that this is so easy because you're winning so many premierships, you're now in the grand final every year?
Well, technically we didn't actually get into the grand final the first year. We kind of went through all the finals and lost in straight sets. So it's still a bit sore that we didn't get the grand final that year. But I mean, yeah, I don't know about the other girls, but you do hear from, you know, people that have been playing, you know, hundreds of games or like close to 100 games and, you know, only just having maybe one chance of even being in a final, let alone getting a flag, being like, you don't know how lucky you are, like you don't understand. But yeah, just really lucky that we have such a, you know, strong group of girls to play with, and that we've had the success that we have in the short amount of time we've been playing together.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's something you can take for granted, because even along the season, like the amount that the opposition team gave to us each game that we played them, like I'm sure that will carry on into next season. Round 1, here we go, people will be after us. So
yeah,
you can't take it for granted. You have to just give it your all every time.
Yeah, I think our coach, Marto, I think he said he's played, it might be 186 games of football, and he might have been in a final, and I don't even know if it was a grand final once. So playing finals is special, and playing in grand finals is special, and winning them is even more special. And I've lost two footy grand finals, I think, one which we were going back to back, and we probably thought we deserved it and we didn't get it. So yeah, this was pretty special, and definitely grateful to have even played football this year, let alone to have gone on to win a premiership.
All three, do you have any future ambitions in the sport of footy?
Not for me. I'm happy just playing amateurs, you know, happy with the social side it brings and everything like that. So that's me done.
I kind of feel like I already had my professional sporting career in volleyball, so it's just a bit of a fun change of scenery, something different to do. Yeah, so, and the bonus of having 60 new friends. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I can keep playing for a few more years if my body allows me to. I'd love to get into coaching at some point if I know enough, but I'm just, yeah, loving still being able to play, and great, yeah, just happy that I decided to go back to it after a few years off.
Now, I'll ask this one more question before we go to a break, because then this meeting's about to run out. Now, the question I'm going to ask all of you is, now, I guess, do you have any highlights that stands out to all of you throughout your footy journeys?
Just the premierships, probably. Just the, you know, winning flags is pretty cool. So that's probably definitely a highlight. Some other stuff along the way, I'm sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I think winning the flag is obviously the highlight. And so then I feel like I've forgotten everything else that happened on the season. But there was definitely highlights along the way going undefeated. And I think for me, having never played before, there were so many times where I've watched a lot of footy, and then we did something and I was like, oh, that was like what we're supposed to do. That was so great. So along the way, they were like little highlights, I guess.
Yeah, I think the premierships have been big, and I don't know, there's always seeing someone do, like, kick a drop punt for the first time, or like Jen said, executing something or grasping something that's really good when you see that hard work pay off. But yeah, I guess I don't know, winning the semi-final last year against Uni actually was pretty big, because that was really unexpected. Yeah, I don't know.
There's been a lot.
Friends.
Luckily, yeah.
Welcome everyone back, of course, after the break. Of course, we continue on with the Curtin Uni Wesley women's football team that won the A-grade Premiership about a month ago. And of course, I'll continue on with this next question. Now, talking about premierships, now almost been a month since then. Has the Premiership sunk in yet?
I think it's sunk in straight away.
Yeah,
Or maybe like the Sunday, I think it sunk in. Saturday night was just like, whoa, this is fun. What's happening? And then Sunday was like, oh, we're back together. This is why we're back together. This is cool.
Yeah, I think it kind of sunk, like Jen said, as soon as we were off the field and we were in the change rooms after the game, I think it started to sink in like, yay, we did it.
It was good on the Sunday watching the replay. Like, I think that's always nice, and you just get to like celebrate all the good things that everyone did and look at the 1%ers and have a laugh. And yeah, it's been a good month.
Now, I have to ask, how many times have either of you seen the replay of your own grand final?
Only the once on the Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I've only watched mine once so far, but I'm sure there'll be a few more viewings to come.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to ask Maddie this question because she did bring up the grand finals down here in Melbourne, which I actually attended at least two of those three grand finals when you were playing down here in Victoria. Now, I have to ask, which of those premierships or grand finals that you played in is more special? Is it the ones that you played here in Victoria or the ones that you played over there in WA?
I don't know. I think I was so young. I was like 20, I think, when I won my premiership with Latrobe. But that was still a really amazing group of girls, and we'd worked hard. But I think probably I was more focused on football last year and this year, and I was, probably felt like I had a bit more of an impact on the field and off the field. So, and was probably, I don't know. I think in some ways maybe the last two, but I don't know. That's a tricky question. I don't know. They've all been good. Lucky to have any of them.
Preparations already ready for like pre-season coming up for the 2021 season for a title defense to make it a three-peat and maybe create a bit of a dynasty down there at Tigerland?
Yeah, I think it's good to have a bit of time off. I don't know, this is the first year that I've played that I've started to feel sore after the games and stuff, which I haven't been enjoying this season. So it'll be nice not to feel sore on Sundays after playing footy and stuff. But I do miss seeing everyone. Like, it only took like a week before I was like, oh, I miss seeing everyone on Mondays and Wednesdays. So yeah, we'll go quickly. I think we'll go quick, and sooner or later we'll be back there.
I definitely think that some of the girls, because we have such a big squad in the second team, are really raring to go because they got knocked out in the preliminary final. So they didn't quite make the grand final, and so they're very hungry. And I think they're really, then they saw us win and it was all very, so I think the few of them have been, what can we do for running and kicking and stuff? But so I'm sure they'll keep us on our toes and we'll make sure we get back to it pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what will be your advice to our listeners and viewers in Perth that should get down to Tigerland and, of course, have a go in the sport of footy and be part of this back-to-back premiership side?
Everyone's welcome, I guess. Like, it's this year showed that we've got space for more girls, and I think it's a really great club to come down and learn, and we're always got our door open for people that want to come down and try the sport or get back to the sport or meet new friends.
I don't know that you'll find a more inviting club to come down and give it a go at, so
yeah, like Goody said and like Jen said, you know, anyone's welcome. Like, you don't have to be a superstar footballer if you just want, you know, some like a social kind of club, or if you want to like take it a bit more seriously. It's kind of got a big spectrum of people that play there, and so that's why it's really nice that no matter what your kind of intentions are, you still can play there and have fun and, yeah, be a part of a great club.
Now, let's finish up with a couple of lighthearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season, and what was it?
I don't know, maybe Goody when you took me out in that semi-final game.
Oh, geez, yeah, that was bad.
No, I don't know.
That's embarrassing for me for sure. I was running and we'd been told it was a semi-final, so there was a lot on the line, and in our round one game, they just outmarked us a lot in one-on-ones, and we got told off for not contesting the ball. So a ball was kicked out from our forward line, and I had eyes on the ball, and I thought, I have to go for this. And I'm like 165 centimeters. So I was running and I jumped, and while I was in the air, I yelled at Jazz that the ball was mine, and I jumped on her shoulders and took her out and did not take the mark. And then when I got up, there was no opposition players around us. There was no need for me. I had no right to be on Jazz's shoulders, and I really should have just left the ball for her. So that was embarrassing and unnecessary. And Jazz got best on that game and led us from the front from the first 1 minute. So if I'd taken her out, we might have lost.
Oh, it's just funny because I was under it and I'd heard you say mine, and I was like, well, I've got nowhere to go, so I just have to stay here. But I don't know. We have lots of fun on the field, I think, as well. So.
Oh, so bad.
I'm pretty sure that Goody took Jazz out and then they ended up with the ball, and it was like, oh, there goes our two players, so they've got the ball now.
It was an absolute nightmare. Like, it couldn't have gone worse for me or Jazz or the team. So.
But we won, so it's okay.
Yeah, that was definitely a fine.
Oh, we'll get to the fine in a moment. Now, I have to ask about that incident. Has it been caught on camera?
No, I don't think that one was filmed.
No, I thought it was played back.
I hope not.
I thought you guys played it back.
No, that was me. I think that was me falling over the girl in our grand final, and I flipped over.
That was weird as well, actually.
But luckily, none of our games get recorded except the final. So anything else that happens, you don't have to worry about.
Now, who's the comedian in the team?
I think everyone's pretty funny. I'm just trying to think. Who do we laugh at and not with?
We probably laugh at Mardo the most.
Yeah,
we laugh at Mardo. Certainly Mardo we laugh at a lot. With him.
Yeah.
I think. Always am I don't know.
I think everyone seems pretty lighthearted and can take a joke, and no one gets offended too easily, which is good. So I think everyone's happy to have a laugh and make fun of each other a little bit and not take anything too seriously, which is nice.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask, any good singers and dancers we should know about based off the celebrations that you had after the game?
Eve.
Best dancer is definitely Eve.
Yeah, one of our new girls this year. I think she's only 19 or 20. She's quite young. But yeah, she busted out some moves that I hadn't seen ever before when we won. So that was great to see.
Yeah, it was outrageous. So athletic.
Yeah. I just didn't know where it came from. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And singers?
Oh, I don't think we've got anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether there's too many good ones. It'd be nice if all the girls learnt the word song.
Oh, words to the Tiger song. Yeah, that would be great. Well, maybe we can put that in pre-season next year.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask now that's just been mentioned. How many times has the theme song has been messed up throughout the year?
Every time we won, we didn't sing it
Every
right.
time.
I don't think
We have our own version.
Yeah, it's not that we sing it. Everyone sings it the same, but what we sing is wrong. But we're all uniform in it, so at least that's okay.
Is there any particular part of the theme song that's always wrong?
It's that one bit where it says, I think it's supposed to be we're strong and we're bold. Or what is it? We're the Tigers of old, we're strong and we're bold. But everyone says we're the Tigers of old, we're young and we're bold. So
Yeah.
that's the bit. But it's every time we always sing it the same. So, I mean, at least we're consistent.
Yeah.
Now, Maddie just mentioned about the fines system after that incident. So the question I'm going to ask all three of you, have either of you copped a fine, and who has copped the most?
I think we've all copped fines, definitely.
Fine, Jack. You have the data.
Yeah, I don't know who copped the most. I reckon it would be like Ruby or someone like that.
Oh,
I think Ruby
gave away like 350 meters of 50-meter free kicks this year. So Ruby.
Yeah, I think Ruby, our captain for the grand final.
Captain. Yeah.
I think she gave away quite a few.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I just have a barocca before every match. So I just have to have, that's it.
Nice and easy. No, I don't have any. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I had some with volleyball, and I was like, no, I got to get rid of these. Like, it's too hard. If anything goes wrong, then you blame it on that. You have a shit game. But nah, so I was like, no, I'm not having any. I'm going against them all.
Oh, now we'll finish off with this last two, which is now during your lockdown that you had back in March. Did you try anything new? And do you have a hidden talent that you didn't think you had?
I don't know what you got. I got really into playing the recorder. That's what I did during my isolation, much to probably the neighbours' dismay, because it's the worst sounding instrument and I'm not very good. So I wouldn't say it's a hidden talent by any means, because I'm not very talented at it. But, it was something to do. Lucky for us in Perth, we didn't really have too hectic a lockdown. It was only for a few weeks really that we were in heavy lockdown. So yeah, we were pretty lucky. It didn't get any worse and have to try out any hobbies too much.
Yeah, one thing we did do, so as a team, we had a competition go on where you had to do some exercise and then nominate someone. And if they didn't do that within 24 hours, then they got points deducted and that kind of thing, which kept us all pretty motivated and meant we all trained, even though we couldn't do it together. Yeah,
and it was good to keep us all in touch as well,
That was great.
Yeah, that was Erin, one of our players, she organised that. So that was such a good idea from her.
Now, talking about that, what did all three of you do during that challenge the challenge thing? And who did you nominate to do the next challenge?
I just ran a lot. Like, I did a lot of the running program that we were set. And we just nominated whoever. Like, it went for 2 months. So
yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
Everyone, just to keep us all accountable.
Well, Ori, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having all three on the show. From all of us here at Smash FM, we want to congratulate all you and your teammates on the back-to-back A-grade premierships, and let's hope for the Tigers in 2021 in a full season, hopefully this time around without disruptions, that this can make it a three-peat and create a bit of a dynasty down there at Curtin Uni Wesley Football Club.
Yeah,
Thank
hopefully. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
No worries. And of course, that is Jazz, Jen, and of course, Maddie there joins from the Curtin Uni Wesley Tigers women's football team, of course, winning their back-to-back A-grade premierships in the Perth Football League about a month ago. Of course, if you want to get down there and get involved with this amazing back-to-back premiership club, of course, you can get down there. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about getting down there and get involved down there at Tigerland. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Wednesday.